Welcome. My name is Mark Andrek. I'm working for the Customer Experience Group at SAP. And in today's video, I will show you how to use SAP River RDE to create a Fiori-like application. We will create a sales order tracking application. Here you see the steps that I will go through. So we'll start with creating a new project in SAP River RDE. We will be using a template to create a Story Fiori application. Then, when this application is done, we will run it and I will show you the result. We will then continue and we will run the application with mock data. And at the end, we will deploy the application to SAP Gateway. And to verify that it is deployed, we will just import this deployed application back to SAP River RDE and run the application. So let's get started. Here I have already launched my browser and I am accessing a demo system from SAP River RDE. You can see here on the left side I have already some projects I have created. So let's start creating a new project in here. So I will go to my menu, File, and create a new project. So I will provide a name to my project. So let's call it my sales order tracking. And we can go to the next step. Here we have a catalog of different templates that I can use. So every template is generating a different kind of application. In this video, I'm going to create a Fiori-like application. So I'm going to select this here, and you see that there are different possible templates that I can choose from. And this is the one I would like to use, SAP Fiori Starter application. This template is going to generate a master detail application. So by selecting this, we can go to the next step, and there is a wizard that will guide us through different steps, and at the end, SAP River RDE will generate all the artifacts we need in our project folder. So the first thing we need to define is the data connection to the backend system. And here I have the possibility to access a catalog. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to access one of our gateway systems. So you can see here that I'm going to select this GM0 ABAP system. And he's fetching all the available Fiori applications, all the available OData services in this gateway system. And you can see that there are many OData services. So I'm going to look for one that I would like to use for my sales order tracking. So let's look for tracking. And as you see here, he is proposing me these different OData services. I'm going to select this one here, the sales order tracking service. In fact, I can open it. I can see that there are different collections here, and this is the one that is interesting me, the sales orders. So that's very good. I can even expand this and see more detail down here. So this looks quite good for me. So I'm going to select this one. Okay, you can maybe see it has been highlighted in green, which means that this system has been validated by SAP River RDE. Metadata has been validated, so it looks good for us. We could even look at the details by looking down here again. So these are the sales orders that I'm interested in. So let's continue. Let's go to the next step. So the next step is now the customization of the template. Now as I said, this template is going to generate a master detail application. And here on the right side, we can see, in fact, I can even click on it to have a better look on it. And we can see how the application will look like. So you see on the left side, we will have a master section. So the list of sales orders that I'm going to look for. And on the right side, we have the details section. So here we will place the sales order details. And you can also see that we have already some fields that are foreseen by this template. So what we need to do here is we need to map these fields to the OData fields that the OData service that I have just selected before is going to give me. So let's start and map the master section. So I'm going to put in here a title, sales orders, and then OData collection. This is where I'm going to select my sales orders collection. And now I'm going to map these different fields. So you can see here, if I open this drop-down list, I get all the OData service fields that are given by the OData service. And I'm now going to select some fields. So sales order number, then I'm going to select maybe a total amount. Units attribute, let's take currency to this, makes sense. We can then maybe use the customer ID and customer name, which is down here. So we are mapping these. The search field, of course, is going to be the key field, so that's going to be sales order number. So we have mapped now the master section, and we can go now to the detail section. Let's give him a title, sales order, detail text, sales order details, and we can map again fields. So let's take here, for example, the customer name again, and the customer sales orders may be better, sales order number. Down here the customer ID, and we can then take some of the numbers, like let's take the net price amount and the tax amount, which is just below that, and maybe the order date. Okay, so we have done the mapping. We can go from one to the other. That looks fine. Let's go to the next step. So the mapping has been done, and the next step is just to finish this wizard. And he will then create my new project in my workspace. So let's finish this and let's have a look here. So you see here we have our new project, my sales order tracking. If I open it, okay, I can see the files that he has created. And if I open, for example, the view folder, I can see that my view and controllers have been put in here. For master, for detail, there's also one for app. Knowing that Fiori applications and any SAP UI5 application is following the MVC paradigm, model, view, controller paradigm. So up here we have the model, which is given by the OData service, and then here we have the view and the controller pair. So that looks good. Now let's see if this is all working. So we haven't done any coding line until now. So I'm going to select the index.html file, and up here you can see this icon run. So I'm going to press this, and now SubRiver RDE is opening a new tab called Application Preview. So this means that we can run and test our application within SubRiver RDE. And you can see that the app that I have defined, here's the master, here's the detail section, is working. And you can even see values in here. So this data is coming from the backend system. This is no fake, this is really coming from the backend system. And I can go down, there are many more sales orders down here. And we can recognize that the fields that we have been mapping are here. Sales order number, we had the total amount, customer ID, name, the currency. And again here we can have the let's see what this is. This is customer name, the sales order number, customer ID. This was the title, and down here we have the net price, tax amount, order date. And you can also see that we have the possibility to change the size of this screen. Currently we have this medium size. I can go to small size, which represents a smartphone. And you can see that we have responsive design here. I can even change the orientation to simulate the orientation of my application. Going back here. And I can even go to large, which is 100%, which represents a desktop full screen. This is a very nice feature. So before even deploying the application, for example, to a sub gateway system, to a ABAP system, I can test the whole application running here with real data. This is a really nice feature. Next, I would like to show you how to run the application with mock data. Assuming that, for example, we don't have access to the backend because there are some issues, or they are working on the backend, we cannot access it currently. I still would like to test my application. Now, by default, if I run it, of course, it's going to get the data from my backend. If it's not available, I can use mock data. So what does that mean? In fact, there are two possibilities. First possibility is that I run the mock data here, and the system is going to generate data for me. So all I need to do is hit run here, and the application is running. So you see again the same application, but now you see that the data that is displayed here is generated data by the system. We have some more meaningful data here: total amount, net price, tax amount. For text fields, you can see that he's just putting a number here. In the next release, we will even add different numbers in here so that we can differentiate this. But you can see that he's generating a lot of data here for us. So that's one possibility. But if you want to go further, we can do the following. We can provide a JSON file. Now, for this, I'm going to add a file into my bottle here. So I can add JSON files containing data. And what I need to do is I need to create a new file here. I need to import a file, of course, because I have already created something. So I'm going to upload a file in here. So let me quickly take this JSON file. So I have here some sales orders, and I could go a little bit to the right. There are some data in here, like this $99. So let's run the app again with mock data, but this time I'm going to check this box here, provide mock data using JSON file. So let's run the app again, and you see the 99 total amount. If I go to the next one, you see that now we have more meaningful data which is provided. So that's a nice feature, I think. So Next, let's assume that we are happy with this app, and let's deploy this app to the sub gateway. In fact, this is only one possibility. We could also deploy the application to the HANA cloud. But let's do this here. So we're going to deploy this to the ABAP repository. So again, I'm going to select the system I want to deploy to. So I'm going to use again my GM0. Here you see the possibility of deploying a new application or updating an existing application. So this here is a new application. So let's keep it as it is. Now I'm going to give him a name. So let's call it my SO tracking 000, for example. Demo application SO tracking. And I'm going to choose the package. So to make things simple, I'm just going to use my local $TMP. And let's go to the next step. Okay, clicking finish to deploy the app. Yes, let's finish. So in the background, he's now deploying it to the sub gateway, and we are now waiting. Here we are for the success message. The application was successfully deployed to ABAP repository. Very nice. Now, of course, we could go to the sub gateway and have a check there. But to validate that the application has been successfully deployed, we can also do the following. We can import the application back to our environment and see if it's still running. So let's do that. So first thing I need to do is I have to create a new folder. So let's call this my sales order tracking imported. Let's create this folder. So here we are. And now I'm going to import. You see I could import it from a file, archive, or I can import it here from my ABAP repository. So let's do that. Selecting again our GM0. Now he's offering me all the applications, and one of them is of course going to be the one we just deployed. I could look like this, or I could just go here. Demo app. So let's import this. And you see, he has imported it, and I can now run the application. And here we are. So this concludes this demo. So we have seen how to create a Fiori-like application. We started to create a new project. We have been using the template, which helped us to create this starter Fiori application, defining which OData service to be used, mapping the master detail fields. Then we run the application to see the resulting app. We deployed the application to sub gateway and re-imported it back to our SubRiver RDE. Thank you for joining this video.